Have you ever had a moment so quiet it was deafening? The kind where the world shrinks to the space between heartbeats? I was standing in the kitchen of the house I grew up in. The smell of my mother's lemon cleaner still hung in the air like a ghost that refused to leave. Chloe, my fiancée, took my hand. Her mother, Patricia, stood behind her wearing that hawk-sharp smile. Chloe spoke softly, almost tenderly. "Baby, we've been talking about the wedding, about our future." Patricia chimed in, syrupy sweet, "And we had the most wonderful idea, a solution to everything." Chloe squeezed my fingers. "Instead of us struggling with a mortgage, and my poor brother Mark, who just got evicted, we move here, into your mom's house. You sign it over to us as a family. Consider it your wedding gift to me." The room went silent. 2 heartbeats. 3. They wanted my dead mother's house as a wedding present. The last place I heard her laugh, the place she took her final breath. They wanted me to hand them her ghost on a silver platter. In that silence, something inside me broke. Then it hardened. My name is Alex. My mother, Sarah, raised me alone. She was a kindergarten teacher who worked double shifts, skipped meals, and still found a way to pay the mortgage on this little 2-story house with the creaky porch and the lemon tree out back. When cancer came, the bills tried to drown us. I worked 3 jobs. We ate rice and beans for a year straight. But we kept the house. Her last words to me, barely a whisper in that rattled in her chest, were, "The house is yours, my love, your anchor. Never let it go." After she died, the halls echoed. The quiet was unbearable. I walked from room to room, touching the walls, like I could still feel her warmth in them. Then came Chloe. She was sunlight after a year of night. She laughed loud, cooked huge dinners, dragged me to her family's chaotic Sunday meals. For the first time, the house felt full again. Her mother, Patricia, hugged too tight and called me son. Her brother, Mark, clapped me on the back and said I was one of them now. It felt like being saved. But the cracks came quickly. Patricia started dropping by unannounced. Such a big house for one boy. This decor is so dated. Mark turned crashing for a week into permanent residency. He ate everything in the fridge, left dishes in the sink, played video games until 4 a.m. with the volume blasting through my mother's walls. I'd come home to find greasy fingerprints on her favourite picture frame, the one of us at my graduation. One afternoon, I caught Patricia rifling through the filing cabinet in my office. "Just looking for a pen, dear." I swallowed every complaint because Chloe would sigh. "Their family, Alex, be generous." I proposed to her on the porch at sunset. She said yes. I thought I was building a new family on the foundation of the old. I was wrong. The wedding gift conversation wasn't a suggestion, it was an ambush. Patricia laid out the floor plan like an architect of greed. Mark and his girlfriend would take the master. Patricia wanted the sunroom for her art studio. Chloe and I could have the tiny back bedroom until we add on. "It just makes sense," Chloe said, smiling like she was offering me a favour. "We pool resources. We're a family." I felt my blood freeze, but I smiled back, slow, defeated, reasonable. "You know, when you put it like that, it does make sense. Let me figure out the deed and the lawyers. It's a big process." I watched triumph flash in Patricia's eyes. They thought they'd won. That night I stopped being prey. I met their shark of a lawyer cousin, Greg, and played the lovesick fool who just wanted to take care of my new family. He happily explained how a quick deed transfer would put the house in all our names with Patricia as managing trustee. I nodded like a good boy. Then I drove straight to Mr. Henderson, my mother's old bulldog of an attorney. I told him everything. He listened, jaw clenched, then grinned like a wolf. "What you've got here, son, is textbook financial predation. Want to give them rope?" We gave them miles of it. I told them Mr. Henderson recommended a slow transfer for tax purposes. I encouraged Mark to quit his dead-end job. "House will be free and clear soon, man. Live a little." I let Patricia redecorate. She dropped thousands on new paint, custom curtains, Italian tile for her kitchen. I helped Chloe book a $60,000 venue, nodding when she said, "We'll refinance the house after the wedding. Easy." All the while, I quietly moved my mother's jewellery, important papers, childhood photos into a storage unit. I changed the locks when no one was home and kept the new keys in my pocket. Wedding day arrived. The church was stuffed with their relatives and friends. My side, 6 people who knew the truth and sat stone-faced. Chloe floated down the aisle in a dress that cost more than my mother made in a year. The officiant reached the part. "If any person here knows just cause why these two should not be joined," I stepped forward. "I do." You could have heard a pin drop on carpet. I took the microphone. "The only reason this wedding is happening is because Chloe and her family believe my dead mother's house is their lottery ticket. They've been living in it, spending money on it, quitting jobs because of it for months, under the impression I was signing it over today. I'm not. I never was. I have every conversation recorded, every email, every receipt for the furniture you bought with your own money, Patricia, for a house you will never own." The screaming started. Patricia lunged. Mark tried to swing at me and got tackled by 2 ushers. Chloe's mascara ran black as she shrieked that I'd ruined her life. I looked at the crowd and finished. The wedding is off. The Wilson family has until 6 p.m. to remove their belongings from my driveway. I changed the locks last week. Mr. Henderson walked down the aisle in his Sunday suit and handed Patricia a thick envelope. Restraining order, eviction notice, and a lawsuit for fraudulent conversion and intentional infliction of emotional distress. They left the church to flashing cameras. Someone had tipped off local news. By nightfall, the story was viral. Bride's family tries to steal groom's dead mother's house, gets publicly destroyed on wedding day. Their deposits were gone. Patricia's savings were tied up in custom drapes now decorating my curb. Mark was unemployed and homeless. Chloe's dream wedding became a cautionary tale shared a million times. I went home alone. The house was empty again, but the silence was different now, peaceful. My mother's lemon scent was still there, her anchor held. They didn't lose because I was cruel. They lost because they mistook grief for weakness, kindness for surrender, and a broken heart for an empty hand. Sometimes the strongest move is to smile, nod, and let greedy people build their own gallows. My mother's house is still mine. Their empire, it sank the moment they thought they'd boarded mine. If you've ever been used, remember the quiet ones aren't weak. We're just waiting for the perfect moment to stop being quiet. Stay sharp.